morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the final throwback of January. As I mentioned, for the month of January, every third upload will be a throwback video. And I'll tell you what, I'm glad that I did these throwbacks, because January, this month, has been absolutely terrible fishing for me, and the weather's been crazy for most of this month. Definitely glad I put these throwbacks in there, just some filler content, and I hope you guys have been enjoying them. But as I promised, for the last one, today's video, you guys got to vote, and I gave you 3 options, and there was a tight race between the bottom 2. So with 47% of the votes, this video will showcase the weird things that happened to me on the water in 2018. Now, these are in no particular order. Some of these are a little bit weirder than others, but I thought they were all worth mentioning and showing you guys. But let's start out with bass on frog, I guess you could call it. So this was on the Delta. I was fishing my little Booyah pad crasher, and got the strike, top water strike. I was reeling it in, and out of nowhere, a larger bass, I'm thinking maybe a 4 or 5 pounder, maybe even bigger, came up, and I couldn't tell if it was trying to eat the bass I already had on or trying to eat the frog. It really surprised me, took me off guard. The only thing that I wish happened was I caught the 2 fish on the 1 frog. That would have definitely been even weirder, but that's the first one. Oh my God, there's 2 right there. That was insane. One was a giant. I hope you guys can see that. So next up, this was actually up at Clear Lake. It was pre-fishing for the KBF tournament up there at Clear Lake. This was in August. The weather was the weird thing here. Water, wind, everything had been real nice all day. I think this was around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was just trying a different part of the lake, and I saw in the distance what looked like whitecaps, and they were whitecaps, and I couldn't see any big boats or anything that would have created them, so I was a little confused, and literally within 30 seconds, I was in whitecaps. It was like a change in wind. I know that lake gets real bad real fast, and I experienced it firsthand. I was not prepared. I couldn't make it back to the launch. At least I didn't think I could safely. I beached up one time, went back out, wind picked up again, and I went back to the shoreline. It definitely took a little spill at the end, beached up next to a homeless person, and yeah, it was a fun walk through Lucerne. If you guys have ever been to Lucerne, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But that was the second weird thing that happened this year. Did like a barge just go by or something? What the heck? Trip back, luckily we're going with it. Freaking got trapped. I shouldn't have come back out. It's bad. It's bad, it's bad, it's bad. Crap. We're headed in. Screw it, I can't chance it. I've flipped before, and it ain't cool. No other option, really. I guess I'm gonna go to my truck and drive it down here. I'm not too thrilled about leaving my stuff unattended here. That's good. So the next weird thing that happened, and I got a lot of comments on this video, it was when I was fishing the Delta, and one of those crop dusters, I guess, I don't know, it's one of those planes that flies over crops, and it was, you know, dumping pellets or whatever on the crops, And it made sense because I was on a part of the delta that was next to, you know, some crops. And this plane went over me like 9 or 10 times. I don't really know why. I guess I was assuming that it was just making its pass and then going back over the crops and doing whatever. But on like the 10th or 11th time, the plane, I guess, dumped pellets on me. And what was even weirder about that was after like the pellets were dropped, he took off. I didn't see him again after that. So part of me was a little suspicious, like thinking he was messing with me. But who knows? I really don't know. What's interesting about that is I actually got an email. Someone reported that incident. I got an email from someone I'm not going to mention that wanted to look into it further. They were part of the county. And I actually had all the footage on my GoPro that wasn't shown in the video with more specifics on the plane, the area, all that stuff. So I actually cooperated with them and gave them all that information. I haven't heard since about what happened, but I thought that was kind of a weird thing and an interesting moment. Let's talk about one of the more sketchier things that happened to me on the water this past year, and I'm going to say it happened twice. And you guys know, delta fishing, there's a lot of sea lions around. Now typically, and in general, sea lions are harmless. And you know what, they probably are, but this was the first year where the sea lions actually really got a little too close to me for comfort, and I don't think they were curious. I think they were territorial. Now, I'm not going to label these as attacks because they definitely aren't, but I will say this, when they got close, I wasn't sticking around to find out. What's also interesting is this year in California, there's actually a public swimming area in San Francisco, and there was 2 incidents where swimmers got bit by sea lions. And I don't know. I'm not sure what's happening. I don't know if they're just getting more curious, if they're getting territorial, whatnot. But the 2 incidents I had on the Delta, I was minding my own business, and they came up, thrashed at me a little bit, and yeah, not a fan of sea lions at the moment. I thought it was a beaver for a second. Just a sea lion. Man, first sea lion. Yay, that's... Oh, Jesus. That's pretty damn close. Whoa, you're right next to me. They like the orange, I guess. I don't know. Yep, that was good times. I love it when they do that. So I will say the next one is actually a fish-related incident. I have 2 incidents, and just to put it out there, it's a double up on the A-rig. This year, I caught a double up with 2 smallies that were both like 3 pounds, and then I had 2 largies that were 2.5, 3 pounds as well. So I doubled up twice, one on smallmouth, one on largemouth. I guess the next progression is a double up on spots, or maybe a triple up. That is probably one of the top 3 coolest things that has ever happened in my fishing career. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh.
Barry sucks right now.
Catch the most.
Hey,
I'll forget.
no. Barry sucks right now.
Is that what he
Oh,
said?
what is that?
Trout.
That's a tank.
I don't know. This is exactly how the other one was biting. I hope it's a trout. I don't think it is. Oh, I got a double. No big deal. Oh, that's pretty cool. Hey, rig. That's the third double up I've had in my life. Now, kind of piggybacking on that double up area was the same area that about a month earlier I had one of the craziest things ever happen out on the water, definitely in my lifetime. I'm not even sure if I'll see it again. So this is December, water temperatures are dropped, fish should move deep, even out here in California. And I found one little pocket on Lake Berryessa, as many of you guys probably know, that was absolutely loaded. Felt like every fish in the lake was loaded up on that one spot. The reason was the bait. There was massive amounts of bait. I can't even explain how much bait there was. At one point in subsequent videos, we were catching bait just by dipping the net in the water, and the bait was in like a foot of water. Now the crazy thing was, we had a couple other guys with us. They were throwing top water, I was throwing the A-rig. Couldn't catch these fish shallow really, maybe a fish or two shallow, and they weren't hitting stuff on top, they weren't hitting jerk baits, nothing. Actually, most of the fish that day were coming out deep, but these fish were just corralling bait in this little section, and it was just like the biggest tease ever. It's insane. This is insane. Look at it. Catching the bait. I'm really baffled as to why these fish won't hit the A-rig. It kind of makes sense because there is just so much bait here. It's hard for them to key in on it. Ooh. What do you even do in this situation? So next up, we have a incident that I didn't really highlight this in a video. It was like the intro of another video because it was on a separate day. But anyways, this was the first time I've seen this kind of thing. Now you see videos where people come up on a bass that has a bass in their mouth and they're like floating and joking and then they save it. So this incident was on the Delta. I saw it in the distance. I just saw something floating, so you know, naturally I go check it out. And this was actually a striper with a catfish in its mouth and it was stuck. Obviously way too big for this striper to eat, but it attempted it. Now the problem was, and this striper was very much dead, probably at least 2 or 3 days old based on the rot and the mold. And this striper, I'm assuming, tried to regurgitate or spit this catfish out. The spines wouldn't flex anymore and it was literally pinned in the striper's mouth, which I assumed caused it to die. Craziest part about this is I actually, when I saw it, I saw the catfish move a little bit and I ended up cutting the striper's mouth. Catfish came out, swam right away. No way. I can't make this stuff up, guys. Oh, it's pretty nasty and decayed, but holy crap. Oh my gosh. Ugh, I don't know why I just picked that up. That is nasty. Dude, the catfish is still alive. That is wild. Or this bullhead or whatever it is still alive. Oh, it's nasty. I have no clue how this fish is still alive. Oh, dude, it's like stuck. Oh, its spike is... That's the problem. It's like little spike is stuck right there. cannot believe that fish was still alive. That must have been in that striper's mouth for days. And the last one was with my buddy Obidi. You guys know O, the People's Champs. This was on the Delta. Forecast was crazy. We're crazy. Winds were nuts, but we still went out and fished. And guess what? As predicted, we got trapped. Couldn't make back up the river and had to get picked up in pretty much private land. It was a very interesting walk that I didn't really highlight a lot, but luckily O's got some connections and we had someone pick us up. So I think that one just is you know, worth mentioning because that was probably the most adventure I had this past year. Those are some serious whitecaps right there. We're gonna definitely have a wet ride on the way back. Dude, I don't know, man. It's pretty bad. Like, every side's bad, though.
I know, oh yeah.
Dude, honestly, I think this is sketchy. We probably could make it, but man, if one of us got turned sideways, it'd be bad news. It's a road, yep.
Vehicle ride. I'm in my kayak and we went back in the dirty. But that last little stretch is too windy to come back. Okay, well we need rescuing too.
She coming?
Yeah.
Bad day?
Not a bad day, and the wind too. It was tough out there today, and when we managed to still bring in some fish.
Now it's time to get rescued. Whew. Alright, that's half the battle.
Oh man.
Thank God O has connections.
You know, being an ambassador, you know, I have to pull one of my cards, make some magic happen, and live my lifestyle. Okay. She gonna try to talk to the dude at the gate, so we might as well start walking.
The guy won't let her.
She said she gonna try to say, he's just staring at me. I'm trying to see if he gonna open the gate. How's it going, brother? All right, bad, better days. We need your assistance. Kayaking in the wind got too tough for us, and our trucks is over at the marina there. Any way we can get our trucks and come through the gate to go pick our kayaks? Oh, be all right. No love.
Dang.
Okay, yeah, by the time you get there, we'll be at the gate. Well, I have to say though, out of all the times I never had to get out and walk over here.
Well, there was an accident, so it took me like an hour.
Hey!
Oh man.
We got no complaints.
Thank you so much. Do you want to be on YouTube?
No.
Okay. We'll just talk about you. Okay, well, definitely at Tracy Oasis, man. The whole family showed us love. Yeah, brought us back to life, man.
But that is it, guys. That is the last throwback video for January. No more throwbacks, back to regular content, which I'm excited about because the weather is starting to stabilize. It's warming up here in California. I'm ready to go back to the Delta. I'll still fish the lakes, but fishing, I'm praying, picks up for February, and I can give you guys some better content. Tournament season's right around the corner, so I'm pumped for that. But thank you guys for voting. Thank you guys for watching these throwbacks. Hope you enjoyed them. As always, tight lines, and I will see you in the next video.